Alright, so what we're doing here today is I'm going to be talking about how to properly prepare for a PT test. Some people are under the impression that they can just show up the day of a physical fitness test and pass, and that's just not the case. There's some things they have to take into consideration when you're getting ready to take a PT test. You have to make sure that you're planning in advance, plenty in advance. I recommend at least 6 weeks in advance for your PT test, if not more. The more you plan out for it, the better that you're going to perform on that PT test. If you can maintain your physical fitness level the entire time and hit the gym at least 4 to 5 times a week, you're not going to have to do any of this because you're going to be already prepared. But a lot of people don't have the time and they don't put the effort into doing that. So at least 6 weeks out. We're also going to talk about the correct exercises to do once you determine your deficiencies, a nutritional plan, and also how that plan is going to determine your success or your failure. Alright, so when you're planning in advance, like I said, at least 6 weeks out. 8 weeks is probably the best way to plan it out. 2 months out, you really want to actually plan it out. And while you're making your plan, what you want to do is alternate muscle failure, and you want to alternate running. Okay, so and I recommend doing it 5 days a week. If you're doing it 6 days out, I recommend 6 weeks out. I recommend 6 days a week doing your PT plan. But if you're doing it 2 months out, then 5 days a week should be sufficient. So what you want to do is 1 week you want to do 3 days of muscle failure, 2 days of running. Then the next week, 3 days of running, 2 days of muscle failure. That way you are getting the optimal effect for your upper body, your midsection, for your sit-ups, and your lower body and your cardio workout. All right. And what you want to do also is every week, or every other week, every other week you want to plan a diagnostic PT test to gauge where you're at. All right, push up, sit up, run. And what you want to do is bring somebody else outside. Don't try to do this yourself. Bring somebody else in who's going to give you a fair assessment of where you're at. That way you know what to work on. Because if you're failing your push-ups, you know you need to work on your upper body. If your cardio's not sufficient and your time is not where you want it to be yet, you need to focus on it. And don't forget about the other aspects and not do those at all. You still need to incorporate whatever weak area or non-weak area is into your routine. That way that doesn't become a weak area in and itself. Alright, so now when you determine through the diagnostic PT test what you're weak in, obviously if you're weak in push-ups, you want to do upper body. What you don't want to do is go to the gym every day and focus on strength, because the PT test focuses on muscular endurance. So you want to do a lot of reps with a little bit of weight. That's what you want to do to start off with. You can increase the weight as you go along, but you want to do a lot of reps. That's what I do. I continuously do a lot of reps when I go to the gym for my muscle failure. So I'll do at least 20 reps of bicep curls, 20 chest presses, and then I'll go to my sit-ups and I'll put weights on myself, and I'll do at least 20 sit-ups, and I'll do that five sets of that. So I'm getting about 100, at least 100 sit-ups in, and then 100 of bicep curls, 100 chest. So everything's getting about 100 reps per session. And then for the cardio, you want to start off slow and then slowly build up to your cardio. So I would recommend starting off with 3 miles, because everybody's in the military, you run a little bit, so you should start with 3 miles, don't go to 2, because that's the minimum for the PT test. You want to go a little bit above that. So you want to go to 3 miles. Once you hit 3 miles and you feel comfortable with that and you're not breathing heavy anymore, you increase it to 4. I would recommend not going over 6 miles, because then you're just kind of being counterproductive, and because the PT test is just a 2-mile run, now you're looking at like marathon type running, and you want to do your speed along with your cardio and a little bit of distance, but not too much of a distance. So now you're turning yourself into a distance runner, and you can mess around and fail the PT test because you're focusing on distance and not speed as well. So for cardio though, the best thing to do is your 61-20s, 60 seconds of jogging, a minute 20 seconds of sprinting, hauling butt, sprinting around that track as fast as you can. A lot of people say walking. I think that's counterproductive. You want to keep your heart rate up a little bit when you're jogging. So jog, run, jog, run. That's the quickest way to build up your speed for your PT test, and the quickest way to build up your endurance. Now with cardio, that's usually the biggest problem that everybody has is cardio. So what you want to do is on your muscle failure days, also do a little bit of cardio. So every day you're doing cardio, because you can do cardio every day. You don't want to do muscle failure every day because you're going to overstrain that muscle group. But you can do cardio every day, not necessarily running though. So what you can do is when you have a muscle failure day, for about 10 minutes, 8 minutes, however much time that you have, get on the rowing machine and just give it your all for about 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Do 3 sets like that, so it builds you up to about 9 or 10 minutes for that particular exercise. And then don't forget about nutrition. You have to have nutrition, proper nutrition. So that, if you develop a lifestyle of that, you won't have to worry about it. But if you're 8 weeks out, do your 3 meals a day, eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and then before the PT test, plenty of sleep that night. At least 8 hours. I recommend 9 hours of sleep that night, and then plenty of hydration. Hydrate, 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 and you want to hydrate at least 2-3 days prior. That way you're fully hydrated and you're ready for the PT test the next day. These things should work, should help you prepare for that PT test. And if you think this doesn't work, you might want to ask somebody that just showed up for the PT test and try to take it, and ask them how they performed on that PT test. They're going to probably tell you that it was very stressful and that it was not, sufficient enough. And proper preparation will avoid that stress, and you'll be able to maximize your score on the physical fitness test. Thank you.